Steffen Knapp, for joining us today for this conversation amid the coronavirus crisis, that is the pandemic that is affecting the entire world. And automotive industry, being one of the most manufacturing intensive industries, has been really hard hit by the effects of coronavirus. So today, we at Express Drives will be talking to you about a lot of things related to the automotive industry, related to Volkswagen India, and what is happening, and what all can we do, and what can we expect in the future as things come along. So thank you so much for joining us, and
It's a pleasure.
thank you so much, and we'll get the conversation going. And we'll start off first with a question that a lot of people, a lot of viewers are having in their mind right now, and that is once car companies get back to business, once dealerships open, car buying is going to be a very different experience. So what can people expect? Like, what is Volkswagen India doing in terms of making a difference in terms of the sales model at dealerships? How are those practices being changed at dealerships? What changes to the staff, the way people will touch the cars or get the information? All of it is set to change. So what can people expect once the lockdown ends? How will people buy cars? How is that going to change?
Yeah, I think it will be a dramatic change. We are kind of summarize the activities we are doing under the slogan "Safe and Sanitized." Yeah,
Okay.
Safe and sanitized journey. So in this journey, you have to go multiple routes. Yeah, so the obvious route is that you have to digitize your complete sales and service funnel even deeper. So we just announced, that you can book now cars online. You can book your service appointments online. So just to describe what that means, you are sitting at home and you want your car to be serviced. You go online. You look. You choose your preferred dealer partner. The dealer partner. You put in a calendar the date. You can make the decision whether it's bring and drop service. Yeah. Then you put in the date. Then your your appointment is verified. Your vehicle will be taken away from you. So it will be someone will come and will drive your vehicle to the workshop. Then there will be a first inspection done around the car, and this will be recorded on a video. This video will be sent, and the proposed changes will be sent by WhatsApp to you. So I don't know, tires have to be changed, some plugs have to be changed whatsoever. And you have to confirm, yes, I want these changes. And then this job is being done and the car is being brought back to you. So that's just to make it a little bit more visual what this means. So a lot of the processes what we're implementing are contactless. Yeah, because customers are really missing and lacking confidence at the moment to do the normal way of doing the business in the past. Apart from this, what we are doing is we have sent out strict guidelines to our partners in terms of sanitization. Yeah, so all the touch points, what a customer is coming into a dealership are going to be sanitized. So the ones which are frequently touched will need to be sanitized every hour, for instance. All our employees will wear masks. The employees will wear gloves.
Right.
We will have regular temperature measurements of our employees. So it's essential that we are adhering to these guidelines very, very strictly, because the customers will be extremely afraid of other people touching their vehicle, of being around of people they don't know, people you don't know where they came from. So the entire process, if you go to a dealership, you decide to move there, will be completely clean and sanitized. So that is essential in order to bring back the business as it was before crisis. Yeah. So two main streams under the summarization of safe and sanitized. One is the online push, clearly necessary today, and the same time is the premises where we are working, where we are servicing, where we are selling vehicles. The people who are working with us need to be completely sanitized. These are the two streams. We are ready with this. We have launched online premise last week, to be precise, and we have trained our complete sales and service force. We have all our 10,000 dealer staff will get in the coming weeks 3 masks, so that they have masks they can rewash and reuse, but they're completely clean constantly. We have really you cannot imagine this level of detail. It's more than 60 pages of detailed description what they have to adhere to. We have a checklist of 20 points which our dealer partners have to evaluate themselves in order to make sure that they ask themselves also. We have very intense discussions with the dealer principals, the investors, because we believe that you can only implement these strict measures by going from the top down. That is important. The top needs to understand that this is the requirement, and I'm very happy to say that there is no dealer principal in our organization who's not understanding the need of the hour. So a major change in the way we do business. It will require a lot more time, and therefore also costs for our partners, clearly, because they cannot use this productive time for other things. They have to have a separate task for sanitization in their dealership. And at the same time also, we will see even more or even less walk-ins in the dealerships. So people will stay home and will want to do their business remote.
So, Steffen, you just spoke about even the online services that you just come up with. So what is your expectation from online or the digital part of the business? How do you see that growing, and what kind of contribution do you see that making to the overall business, specifically in India?
And it was close to zero in the past. So in the car business, in particular in sales, people really tend to go to the dealership. They inform themselves via your channels, for instance, or via our website, other publications. So they are normally very well informed. They take their decision basically in a lot of cases remote, and then they come and look and have to tangibly touch the vehicle. So the classical transaction was done in the dealership. So they were doing the negotiations and then they came to a conclusion. So it was not existing, to be honest. I personally, looking at some examples we have in the group, in Sweden, for instance, 15% of all car sales are done online in our group. So I expect this to go into the similar lines. So we will go around 15%, in particular in the beginning, when COVID-19 is still very visual for everybody. People are scared. And there we will see that a lot of business will be done there. And I think it will be around 15% in the upcoming years. It's actually what we all expected in the past already. We always said, online sales, we buy our books online, we are ordering our food online. And why is it not happening in this level in the car industry? This will now get a major push, and we will see this grow as a growing channel. Clearly, you have a lot of things still to implement. A lot of our colleagues, including ourselves, we have started it on a base level, the online sales. There is important levels we have to still work on. This is used car evaluation, for instance, because a lot of people, 30% of our customers, are handing in the car, are exchanging the vehicle. So this part is not yet included in the sales funnel, which we need to include. We are working on this and these kinds of stuff. But in principle, we will see a major push coming there.
And beyond that, like you said, for the at least next few months, people are going to be very concerned about their health. They're going to be scared. So do you also see that as an opportunity wherein people will want to buy more personal vehicles? So do you see that as a catalyst for increased car sales in the coming time? Because probably if I look, I would not want to take a cab that is ferrying 40 or 20 different people in a day, so or take public transport. So do you see that as an opportunity for you?
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge opportunity. Definitely also, again, given the experience we have in China, individual mobility is growing tremendously to the extent that we have more traffic jams again in the cities there, because people tend to use their own vehicles and they are looking out for accessible individual mobility. So I think in India, we will see a major push in used car, because this is, let's say, a price level which people also at the moment, they are scared about their financials. Yeah, so scared
True.
about their salary, their jobs, and so on. And I think they will rather look for accessible individual mobility. So I think there is a chance for our colleagues from two-wheelers that a lot of people are going to jump on their two-wheelers again. And we will see also in the car in a growth, in particular from my point of view, in accessible mobility, be it like Polo, for instance, a lot more the small car category, and
Right.
in particular used car, where we believe as Volkswagen, anyhow, we had been working before extensively, starting with this year in this particular work stream. We will see this growing tremendously, and
Okay.
it's not a miracle. Analytics is exactly what we see in China. It's exactly the same pattern. You have three trends. You mentioned it already. It's the need for sanitization, a clean process. You will see the online space growing tremendously, and we see individual mobility coming back. The need for, let's say, a safe journey is something which customers definitely have in mind at the moment.
So used car is the segment where you see most of this growth going to initially.
Yes. Or accessible solutions like leasing solutions, like residual value financing models, where you can either reduce the necessity to purchase, you rather use, yeah, but safe using, or you go into models where you have small monthly installments. Yeah, because people will really tend to make sure that there's not a big hit on their monthly available budget. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you know this concept, most likely the Volkswagen Secure concept, where we are basically guaranteeing a certain residual value after 3 years. And with this model, we are able to reduce the monthly installment by more than 30%. And that is interesting for customers because their outflow of liquidity is not that big. Yeah. So these kinds of model we will see also in new car space going forward. There's a lot of financing offers. I think is important. Attractive financing offers are important because customers will be cautious about their investments. Clearly, in such an environment which we are seeing right now.
And Stephen, you just talked about like attractive financing offers and a lot of other things. So a lot of people also have this thing in this question in mind that once car makers get back to selling cars, given the fact that the last 2 months have been really bad, can they expect some really great offers in terms of like discounts or not just finance but flat discounts off the price? That's something that we are being asked a lot by our readers regularly, that do you expect car makers to come out and go like all out with discounts to ensure they sell fast? Do you see that happening?
I personally don't believe that because you have to. What you will see, let's start with this. You will see interesting offers. You will see value of us, of the industry. That's for sure. But I think also you don't have to forget our industry has been hit hard. Yeah, and we have nothing to give for free. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we have also to safeguard our companies. Yeah. And if we are now going all bananas with discount levels and so on, I think this would be the wrong signal. It's also financially not viable for us. And I can only say for Volkswagen, we will not do this. Yeah, so Volkswagen is clearly determined on residual value. We are a reliable brand, and this we always want to be. And if you go bananas with discounts, that's not good for the cars, for the residual value of the products. Right. What we will definitely do, we will offer a very interesting value proposition, be it via financial solutions, be it via good cars at good value. And we will offer obviously a very safe journey in not only in the handling of the process like we described before, but also in the used car arena. Yeah, so in the used car arena, you will have interesting offers from us, fully refurbished cars with an additional year of warranty, plus sanitized vehicles. This is a process, a fair business model for the customer, so you can trust our dealer partners. Very important, very transparent. And that you can expect, but I don't think that the industry will push out tremendous discounts. You know, it's not. It's also not recommendable, to be honest. Yeah. Right. So we are already here, I can say, in India having very attractive offers from everybody. We are at a pretty low level in terms of purchase price already in India, and I think we have to be always having in mind the residual value of our existing customers too. because they have bought products from us. There we have a responsibility, and at the same time we have to make attractive offers, that's for sure, but always which are balanced.
You said the investments for the India 2.0 strategy are not going to be affected, but the new models, especially the SUV lineup that you are about to come up with, is the launch timeline for the upcoming SUVs going to be affected by this crisis of a few months?
No. We have launched in March the Tiguan Allspace. All the vehicles are in the country. So we have, fortunately, before the end of the financial year, we had imported the vehicles for the Tiguan Allspace as well as for the t-roc. So once the lockdown is over, we will launch these vehicles accordingly in our dealerships and go normally ahead. So there is no change in strategy. And the third SUV, as you know, is our Taigun, which is the first product of India 2.0, which is so far on track to meet all its requirements. So, and the fourth one, I'm not going to tell you like last time. Yeah, so there will be an additional SUV coming. Also, this is so far from a timing point of view on track. Okay. So we are in line with our plans when it comes to the local production Polo and Vento. Also here, we were on the rim to launch our 1.0 liter TSI manual transmission. The vehicles are produced. They are also standing in Pune, so we can host them the moment we have allowance from the government to dispatch vehicles. This is also on track, and we will soon give you the opportunity to drive our fantastic 1.0 liter TSI, which is really a major step again for us in terms of our Volkswagen TSI solution. So also that runs well. So far, I think we have a big crisis. That's no question. It affects our company globally, as we have announced the other day, clearly. But India, we are having it like in the world at the moment under control. But clearly, this is not viable over much more time. We need now decisive steps to, first of all, get to a staggered approach of relaunching production in the normal life. And secondly, I think we need also some initiatives from the government in order to get some incentives for improving the demand.
And Stephen, what exactly, I mean, in terms of government incentives, considering from the perspective of one of the largest car makers in the world and a major Indian car maker, what is your expectation in terms of what do you expect the government in terms of policy? What can it do to immediately propel the auto sector?
Well, first of all, to be clear, I'm a big supporter, and for my profession, I'm an economist, of a free economy. And a free economy means that we as players in the market have to provide interesting offers to our customers. That's clear. Yeah. So I'm not saying that it's the task of the government to fix everything. That's not my policy. I might be a little bit different there. First of all, I should look at myself. What can I do to be attractive for customers? What do I have to change in terms of my processes to be attractive for our customers? So that's the one side. I think a government has two objectives. First of all, they have to make sure that the complete, let's say, framework of doing business has to be stable. Yeah. So there needs to be clear stability, a clear framework, very easy to understand, so that we can plan, because in our business, our investments are always long-term, and they're huge investments. We are not talking about, I don't know, investing in a table. We are talking about a high technology product with a lot of features, with a lot of investment required. So therefore, the long-term perspective is extremely important. Yeah, and a clear framework, be it legal, be it in the tax area, and so on. So that is my first, not expectation. I'm not here to expect something from the government. I'm far away from that. My recommendation is really be clear what you do, be clear how you are coming back to normality. What is the plan? Yeah, so really, what are the steps? If not directly to the industry, yeah, definitely for the small and medium companies. That is definitely very, very important. It's a big portion of the Indian population, being the dependent on MSMEs. Yeah, so you have to give them some relaxation, be it in taxes, be it whatsoever. Give them easy access to liquidity in order to come over this crisis. That is a base. Huh? A lot of customers are coming out of this group because they are employed in small companies like MSMEs.
Right.
No, we have only a small portion of big players in India who are employing a lot of people. So that's the first step. I think there must be, should be some initiatives taking place. Then thirdly, I think if I look at the importance of the auto industry in India, it's around 7% of the gross domestic product. And also the high proportion of exports, which are bringing money into the country, yeah, and also the future potential of the automotive industry for India in terms of technology transfer, I think you could think about some incentives for customers. Yeah, you know, the CM, our association, as well as the FADA, has written multiple letters to the government and proposed multiple ideas. A scrappage program could be something which is helping, which is not only helping us as industry, as an incentive, is also helping the environment. You get the old clunkers out of the roads, you get new cars with new latest technologies in the road, and at the same time the government is also earning the GST on those vehicles. So that's an interesting proposition. I always believe it should be a win-win situation. So these are the three elements what are for me required. For me, it's really required to announce a clear plan,
Right.
not to change it frequently, have a plan, announce that people have kind of a visibility, make it on time, so that people see, aha, in 2 weeks' time. Because to build up a supply chain, to get the people back from their home villages into the factories, it's not an easy thing.
In terms of like how do you see the sales and the growth turning out to be at the end of the year?
Well, definitely it will be no growth, yeah. But also here, everything depends on the speed you can pick up again. Yeah, okay. So it's honestly, we do a lot of scenarios.
Yes.
We would be that is normal, and that is our business. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scenarios. We are calculating down and forth. We're looking at the curves from countries which are a little bit ahead of us. How long did they take them to resume business? So, for instance, in China, 6 weeks after the lockdown opened, they were back to 90% of their pre-COVID-19 workshop business. So it resumed in 6 weeks' time. Then we say, is it possible in India that fast? We think most likely not. So it will be a little bit, but you never know. If you look at internal studies, you see that not a lot of customers are refraining from purchasing a vehicle. The intention is the same. They only think what changed is the budget. So they are not prepared to pay so much more. So I can tell you, it's a very difficult analytics and a very difficult planning. So to give you now a number, it would be not Antigua.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, I really don't know. It could be they'd be so fast coming back. Yeah, I'd give you one example. I was not expecting in 2019, in the last quarter, that we are able to sell more cars than 2018. I was not expecting this. This was, honestly, with all analytics and market scenarios, I was not expecting that the market goes back to 2018 levels. And what happened? It was even growing by 2%. Yeah. Because I thought there is so much uncertainty in the system, I don't expect it. In particular about stage change and all this stuff. But we were able to sell more. So all the analyticals were gone for a toss. Yeah. So we actually, I can tell you, we sold 1,100 cars more in the last quarter than we expected. 1,100. And that's for us a lot of cars. Yeah. We are not the biggest players, you know. Yeah. So that is, it's very difficult to predict. It will be definitely less. That is for sure. You cannot take 2 or 3 months of no sales and have no hit. Yeah,
absolutely.
But it depends on a lot of, if the government decides suddenly, we are going to give a scrappage program. It might be a run for it. Who knows? Yeah, I can only tell you my experience. And in Germany in 2008, when the big crisis because of Lehman Brothers was hitting the market, the German government decided to give an incentive of 2,000 euros if you scrap your car and you take a new car. Yeah.
Yep.
And you cannot imagine, it was record sales. The Germans are a little bit strange. For them, if the government gives something for free, I have to take it. Yeah. So Germans are specialists in saving tax. For them, all is necessary. I won't want to be paying tax. They focus a lot on this. There are a lot of software programs and stuff. So the effect was that we had a better year than 2007. To the extent that 2009 was bad because everybody has pulled ahead his sales. Yeah. So to put it in a nutshell, very difficult to predict. I think we will see a hit, clearly, but we don't know what the scope is.
Well, I think it's been a great conversation, Stephen. And before the end of the conversation, there are a lot of questions that come to us on a regular basis. So the new thing we're trying to do is in any interview we have, we try and pick one relevant question from one of our viewers or readers. Now, one question that one of our readers by the name of Akash Avasthi from Lucknow had sent, and this is like he's asked this question multiple times. And that's the reason why we are taking. And Akash, if you're listening or if you're seeing this video, this is for you. He is very much he's like fantasized about the new Polo, and he wants to know that after all this happening, the COVID-19 crisis, could it be a case wherein, because a lot of companies, he thinks that a lot of companies could launch new cars to increase sales. So can I expect the new Polo anytime soon? I know what your answer would be, but then again, this is a viewer question. So
No, it's a very valid question, and I'm happy that he likes the new Polo. Actually, we launched the new Polo in 2019. Yeah, so we had done, I think, very nice changes to the exterior of the vehicle. So with the more GTI-like style, no? So it's a new Polo. We have done interior changes to the vehicle, and now we are launching a new engine with it together. No, so an engine which is lighter, it consumes less, has more horsepower, has a nicer torque in the development, and the first time we're offering this engine with a 6-speed manual transmission. And on top of it, we are moving it downwards the series lineup. That means you don't have to buy the GT TSI to experience the Volkswagen Perfect Petrol Solution TSI. It's going to be also available on the Highline series. So that is a major change for us, and I think you should really, Akash, go and have a check and in your dealership in Lucknow, test this vehicle. You want to like it. So that's the first thing. But I think his question is more related to the one which we are selling in Europe, yeah, the next generation. And there also Akash can help me, because what I'm doing, and every day I'm putting a candle on my table, yeah, and I light this candle, and I ask everybody to join me there. Please, government, change the bloody sub 4 meter category standard, yeah, because that requires me from engineering. Yeah, because what is happening is the vehicle, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, it's 4 meter 05 long. So it's not fitting into the sub 4 meter category, and that means there's a substantial tax advantage missing. So what we need to do is we need to do engineering efforts to reduce this car to the required sub 4 meter category. And what we decided in Volkswagen is, let's focus with our India 2.0 project first on an SUV, which is the talk of the town, a compact SUV, our Volkswagen Tiguan, which we saw at Auto Expo. Let's then focus as a second step on the Vento replacement. Yeah. So these are the two products which we are currently having developed and being launched, and then the next level comes. So in the short term, we will not see the new Polo coming into the country, because we have to first adjust our activities. Yeah. Like I said, engineering and so on. Yeah. So, but that's the reason why we decided to give some freshness to the vehicle, that we did the new Polo in 2019, and we are constantly reviewing what can we do for this vehicle in order to keep it as contemporary as it is today. And the one step we will see now with the launch of the 1.0 liter TSI engine coming into the car, which I'm 100% sure, Akash, I can talk to him directly, you will love. So go to your dealer in Lucknow, test it, and you will enjoy very much.
So there you have it, Akash. If you're seeing this, your question has been answered by the head of Volkswagen India. So you know what to expect now. Thank you so much, Mr. Steffen Knapp, for joining us today for this brilliant conversation. And I'm sure our viewers will have an interesting time seeing and listening to all the insights and the discussions we have had. And thank you again so much for your time today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see you in person next time.
Definitely. I'm eagerly looking forward to that as well. Thank you.